We're looking in the transom of the boat through the hatch, and what we're looking at is the two batteries. There's one for the house, one for start. There's a battery charger back here, and I'll show you where that plugs in a moment. And then there's two fuses on the back. One says house, and that's for the house system. It takes care of your pumps, your lights, and so forth. And then over on this side, next to the battery switch, you'll see another one, and that says amp, and that's for your stereo system and the amplifier, which is a 60 amp fuse. The little yellow fuses there are for equipment in the console, and those are easy to access. The battery switch, again, is a 3-position switch, so it'll give you position 1, 2, or both. We typically suggest you run the boat on both. This way both batteries are always being charged. And if you stop, you want to use the boat on the sandbar for a little while without actually running the boat. When the motor's shut off, I would switch to position 2. That's your house battery. And this way your start battery is not being used for running the stereo or the amp, and you're always going to stay fully charged. Okay, so here we are looking into the bilge. You'll notice there's a float switch and a bilge pump right on the center line. The float switch has a little lever on the left-hand side. That'll allow you to manually trigger the float switch and test the system to make sure it's working correctly. On the port side of the boat, which we'll see over here, you've got your bait well pump and your pickup for the washdown system, which in this case is freshwater washdown due to the lake. The valve is currently off with the lever being parallel to the hull. To turn the water flow on to the bait well and for the freshwater system to work, you need to take that lever arm that you see parallel to the hull and turn it so that it's in a vertical position so that the lever is in line with the pump. And that'll allow water to flow into your bait well and also flow to the pump that's in the console that we showed you a bit earlier. And that'll pump water out to the shower fitting by the walk-through on the transom here, as well as the other fitting that's in the cockpit, which I'll show you in just a moment. Right above that, you'll see the stainless steel head on the fuel water separator, and to the right of that there's a bronze valve. That valve controls the flow of fuel. It's currently on. If you were to turn it so that it was at right angles to the flow, it would turn the flow of fuel off. So if you ever had a problem or you're storing the boat for a long time, you'd want to turn that off, and that isolates the tank, keeps the fuel in it, and you could actually at that point take the filter off, drain it, and keep everything nice and dry for the winter time, which probably would be a good idea in your location. In terms of winterizing the boat, this is an area where you'd probably want to go in, make sure everything is dry, make sure that you flush everything going to this fresh water system as well as the bait well system. And when the time comes to do that, you can give us a call here at Blue Water, and we'll make sure to walk you through the process so that everything gets through the winter without a freeze and a possible problem. Now, the battery charger that I showed you in the battery compartment plugs in with a standard extension cord, and that extension cord is going to plug into this outlet right over here. It's a standard 3-prong, 2 flat blades and a ground, and you're just going to plug your battery charger into your extension cord rather into there, and the battery charger will automatically come on and charge the 2 batteries in the back of the boat. Now, the batteries for your trolling motor also have a charger, as we showed you in the console. That charger has a separate outlet here, and again, this one, just like that, is a 3-pin outlet, and a battery charger would plug in there as well. So both of these could probably run on a single 20 amp extension cord with a split tail if you want to make something up like that. So you bring one extension cord into the boat, split it with 2 tails, and plug it into your outlets. But that'll keep the batteries topped up after you finish using the boat. The next time you go to use the boat, everything will be perfect. So hopefully this is all good information for you. If you have any questions, give us a call at the shop.